Well, it's been a little bit since I updated you on Chicago news or what's going on in Illinois, or just kind of like around the world what's going on. Well, first thing is, Chicago is not a dangerous place to be. Chicago is great. Chicago doesn't have problems and stuff. Chicago, they're the standard of all states. That's what everybody should model their state after. According to Governor Pritzker and Brandon Johnson, right? While a man is released from fucking custody, sorry, excuse my mouth, I'm just pissed. While a man is released from custody after being arrested 72 freaking times, and the prosecuting attorney telling the judge last, I don't think this person should be back out of the streets. I strongly recommend not letting this person back out of the streets because of everything that they've done. Then the judge decides to go against the concerns of the prosecuting attorney and electronically monitor the guy and let him back out in public anyway. Then he ends up on public transportation. I think it was a train. He ends up on public transportation, and he goes up to this innocent little white girl, black man, dreads, goofy looking face, like there's obviously something freaking wrong with this guy. He goes up to this innocent white girl on a train and ends up dumping gasoline on her and then setting her on fire. And she's in the hospital fighting for her life. The train finally comes to a stop and she's able to get off of the train. And when she gets off of the train, bystanders help put the fire out. Paramedics come and rush this girl to the hospital. What do you think should happen to that judge that let this guy out? That this guy's already been diagnosed with mental issues and stuff like that and been arrested 72 times. The judge should be in prison for the rest of the judge's life. Unfortunately, when you do things like that and somebody loses their life because of your poor decisions, you shouldn't be here. You should spend the rest of your life in prison, and you should be stripped of any notability of being a judge. It shouldn't be. I would strip you of your record of being a judge, and I would make it to where you were aiding in the murder or the potential attempted murder of another person. And anybody that you've done this to in the past or been a part of where this has happened, you should be investigated for it and then more time added. But Chicago is a safe place, right? We don't have stuff like that. Oh, guess what happened? The last time something like this happened, it was a crazy-ass black dude that had been arrested 12 plus times and was a threat to society, that had a mental disorder diagnosed, schizophrenia or something like that. He ended up on public transportation. Was it North Carolina? He stood up and found an innocent little Ukrainian girl, white girl, and then walked around on the train after he slit her throat, just walked up behind her and slit her throat, and she bled out all over the place, and nobody would help this girl. She died while he walked around saying, I got that white bitch, I got that white girl. Yeah. Right. Are we seeing a trend here? I mean, I hate to say it, but are we seeing a trend here? And I'm not saying it's the only ones, but lately it's like a copycat trend, and it's disgusting. Then we have 300 hoodlums in Chicago that end up at a Christmas tree lighting event. Somehow they networked and they all got together and they were able to communicate and talk and show up at a family event where there was a Christmas tree lighting, and those 300 people acted out during that event. 9 people got shot and 1 person died. Yeah, Chicago's such a great place to be, right? Chicago's so safe, right? Brandon Johnson, after you done got on national television, local television, and said, especially about the guy that set the girl on fire, yeah, I mean, obviously our judicial system failed. Obviously, the right thing wasn't done here. It's very clear, it's very apparent that it should have never went this way. Somebody didn't do their job. Well, I got news for you. Since before Kimberly Fox, the shittiest prosecuting attorney that you guys have ever had, shit has been bad. And she just made it 1,000 times worse. I remember having my car stolen years ago by 4 14-year-old girls. Yes, I negligently wasn't thinking and left it running out front of the gas station because right off Central and 55, I worked at Rush Truck Centers there. there's a BP right across the street. I pulled up in front of that BP, had my car running. It was like February. It was rainy. Most of the snow had gone, but it was raining. And I think it was February, beginning of March, and it was really cold. I had my hoodie on. I was shivering. I ran inside the gas station real quick to get back when I smoked a pack of smokes and a diet soda. That was my kicker. That was my vice. And when I came out, my car was gone. 4 14-year-old black girls stole it, ran from the police, ran from somebody else that was supposedly replacing, or somebody that was chasing them, because the whole front end had an SUV, like complete indentation in the trunk and the bumper and stuff, and that's what the police said. The police said somebody had to have been chasing them and hit them and rammed them, and they just continued to keep running. And they lost control at a high rate of speed right outside of Chinatown and bounced off the walls, hitting the exit ramp. The two girls in the front seat ended up getting knocked out. The 2 girls in the back ended up fleeing, which later they found out who and where they, who they were, and kind of the situation of who, what, why. Not completely why, but who, what, for sure. And Kimberly Fox let them all go. She didn't do a fucking thing about it. Let them all go. Yeah. The parents didn't want to talk to the detectives. The parents didn't want to do shit. The parents were like, "Man, that's my daughter. She a teenager. You ain't talking to my girl. Get the fuck off my porch. Get out of here. You don't got a warrant. You don't got this. You don't got that." Well, with kids, it's different. They can play hardball and they don't have to cooperate with the police. But these girls had already been multiple times battery, theft, fleeing and evading, all kinds of stuff. Put them right back out on the street. Why? To condition them so they continue to act a fool. So when they're 18 years old, they end up spending the rest of their life in the system instead of being corrected early on. These girls had been let go over and over and over again. And you know who drove them to the gas station to steal my car? The 15-year-old friend. They were all high and they had the munchies and they want to go to the gas station and get munchies. So what they do, they went in the gas station and stole all the chips and the sweets and stuff like that while everybody was at the counter checking out because it was kind of busy, and ran right out the front door. And they're like, "Oh, this guy's car's running. Let's just jump in his car and see if we can move it," and took off. The 15-year-old that was with them stole the neighbor's Jeep while they were unloading groceries. They all jumped in, took the Jeep and left. Not Jeep, minivan, and left. The 15-year-old later returned the stolen van, parked it in the driveway with it running just like they had it. Nothing. Zero was done. Right, Chicago is such a safe place, Brandon Johnson. Chicago is such a safe place, Governor Pritzker, while you motherfuckers continue to allow it to get shittier and shittier and shittier, and then have the nerve, the gall to stand up in front of national television and be like, "Oh yeah, these people are making out to be what it's not." No, absolutely not. And how do these 300 teenagers get together to link up like that, unless they were using a social media app, to then find out how to get to this Christmas tree lighting event so they could shoot 9 people and 1 person died? And how many of those 300 people are actually going to be charged for this? Are all of them? Because all of them need something. They showed up knowing what was going to happen, knowing that something could happen, and it did happen. What are you doing to charge those students? What about the mob of 15 middle-aged grade school kids between 11, 12, 13 years old that recently jumped that mother that went to the school that she had reported multiple times her son was getting bullied? He's only 9 years old. That went to that school and picked up her son with her 6-year-old daughter and was walking them home when they got mob attacked by 15 different kids, punching the woman in the face, jumping on her on the ground, stomping on her face and stuff like that, smacking and punching the kid in the face, grabbing the 6-year-old girl and dragging her and throwing her into the ground. What are you doing about that? What are you doing about all 15 or so of those, whatever it was, ballpark? What are you doing about that? Because Chicago's so safe, now we have middle-aged children out there doing stupid adult crimes. They obviously don't feel like you're doing anything about it to enforce the law, because if they were really all that scared, they wouldn't be doing shit like this. But they think they can get away with it because social media promotes it, and you promote it, and Governor Pritzker promotes it, but you continue to let them happen. And this all happened within a short amount of time. This is not even like this was months and months ago. This just freaking happened. Enough is enough. At what point, as people that live in the state of Illinois, that live in Chicago, that live around the surrounding suburbs, say enough is enough? These fucking people gotta go, man. If it's not clear as day that something's wrong here, you got fucking problems, man. And if you're on the liberal coattail saying, oh, no, fuck you. You don't belong here. You don't belong here. Go somewhere else. If that's how you see things. This is happening more and more and more and more all the time. And nobody's doing shit about it. Oh, and what about the 78 Somalians that just got caught in Minnesota? Feeding hungry or feeding needy program or feeding the needy. Pocketing millions of dollars, going and buying property and everything else. You know what I do to every single one of them? Alright, you bought $1 million properties and stuff like that. Guess what you're going to do on this property now? For the rest of your life, you're going to take every single fucking homeless person that you can fill and afford to put on this land, and you're going to feed them and take care of them. It is going to be your mission to do this, or guess what? You're going to stay in jail for the rest of your life. They took millions of dollars from people. 78 Somalians in Minnesota. Do you not see a trend here? Do you not see what's going on? These people from these liberal states don't give a shit about the people that live there. Clearly. Wake up, America. You better wake up real quick. Because when it comes down to it and the law's not doing their job, the government's not doing their job, we're eventually going to have to do it. And then at that point, there is no law. There is no telling us how to do it, because we're going to just take care of it how we need to take care of it and be done with it. I'm not saying me physically and other people that follow me physically, but I'm saying in general, that's what it's going to lead to if you don't clean this shit up. Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson, these people's lives, they're on your hands. The blood is on your hands. You either fix it, or you may end up reaping the consequence yourself. I hope both of you are pulled out of office and people remember that you talk so much about how safe the city is and how clean it is and how non-violent it is, and it's just the media and Republicans and MAGA saying this and that, when you guys are full of shit. We see it every single week, every single day, every single month, and it's just getting worse. Y'all take care. Be blessed. Happy Thanksgiving to y'all.